I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street. This episode is sponsored by a specific Airbnb location. If you're looking for an amazing place to stay for a day or two in downtown Dallas, click on the photo link on the Support the Show page and check out this Airbnb. It's located in the heart of Dallas within walking distance to everything, and it includes the use of a phenomenal rooftop style deck. Have a beer with the owner and tell him you heard about it from Fascination Street. This episode is also sponsored by Pure Vitamin Club's Sublingual B12 tablets, which is the only sublingual B12 supplement that doesn't contain binders and fillers and delivers 2,000 micrograms of the B12 form nature intended directly to where it's needed by dissolving tastelessly under your tongue. Everyone needs B12. It's an essential water-soluble nutrient that your body can't make on its own. B12 gives a boost of energy to vegans, active people, people over 65, anybody who is experiencing low energy or fatigue, and anybody who experiences mood swings or is depressed. Click on the photo link on the home page or on the Support the Show page at FascinationStreetPod.com. Hey guys, welcome back. This episode is part 2 of Matt Moderator DeAndrea. In this episode, Matt talks about a mysterious new business he is in the middle of starting. He gives us a sweet buy now and hold car tip, and we chat about Dax Shepard, Sly Stallone, CarCast, and shiftandsteer.com. Enjoy, guys.
Yeah, talk to me, yeah.
I still love technology, and I'm still pretty active in technology and help people put businesses together, but I just wanted to get into the automotive world as a career. I didn't know how or what I was going to do. So the big automotive aftermarket convention is called SEMA, Specialty Equipment Market Association.
Yeah, okay.
It's in Vegas every year. It's a huge thing, and it's gotten bigger and bigger over the years. And so like 9 years ago, I just went to the SEMA show, and it's industry only. I don't even remember how I got in. Somehow I got a pass or snuck in or something. And I just went to every booth that I could.
Just soaking it all up.
No, I just grabbed I was like, who's the boss? Who's the boss? Who's the boss? And I was like, hey, my name is Matt. You don't know me, but you will. I'm going to keep getting in front of you. We're going to work together. And they're like, sure, kid, whatever. And well, I wasn't really a kid anymore, but and my thought was,
You still look like a kid.
Was well, thank you. Was that's how we built our internet company. Our internet company was just us just getting in front of people and telling them, like, we can do this for you, we can do this for you. Just being good, just being honest, you know. We built Oakley's first website, Oakley
Really?
Sunglasses.
Wow.
And I called them. I just cold called them and was like, man, we need to build your website. And they're like, we're starting to get calls all the time. Everybody wants to build our website. And I was like, yeah, but we can do a good job for you. We can do the best for you. I said,
Literally, this was a phone call?
This is a phone call.
You straight up cold called
Yeah.
on the phone?
Yeah. But I hammered on it for months and months and months.
Sure.
And I said, I'm so confident we're going to do this. It's like, I'm going to build your website for free. If you like it, then you pay for it. If you don't like it, I'll throw it all away. It's out of my pocket. All my time, all my money invested in it, gone. And they're like, that's insane. You're nuts. Let's do it. We built it.
They loved it.
They loved it. They won a bunch of awards with it.
Really?
And and that was it. And then from there,
So
it was like,
that kind of your, like, did you do that a lot? I mean, that Oakley story can't just be an island. Like, is that how
Oakley,
you kind of got some, like,
Oakley's the only one where I made that offer. I
why?
just wanted Oakley.
Why?
I just wanted them. Like, as a kid, I remember before Oakley sunglasses, like, Oakley made grips for your BMX bike, and I had them, and I just wanted them. I liked the idea of the company. I liked what they were building. Their image was just so coherent. They were focused on their brand strategy and their look and their logo and everything. It's like, I need to build their website. And I just went after them. You know, I went after other companies as well, and I never got them. You know, but that one I really wanted, and I was passionate about it. We went to Oakley's headquarters down in Irvine. We met with people. We toured the facility, And I was like, we're going to crush this for you. And, luckily we did.
That's kick-ass.
So the internet, when I changed careers and got into the automotive space, I just went to the SEMA show and I was just like, I'm gonna do something here. We're gonna work together. And then most people are like, great, nice to meet you, see you around.
So you didn't lose like a ton of money when the internet business went away, did you?
No,
You just lost new business. Like you just
I lost a
stopped-
career.
Okay. So
Right.
you didn't lose a shitload.
Mostly because it was depressing. It
Right.
was just like, all right, well, we were doing really well. Everybody was really young. Some of our employees were like, I'm going to get married. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that.
Right.
And they all had a little bit of money. So I went and just like built hot rods with my brother for like a year. And I was like, I like the car thing. I'm going to see if I can do a new career with that. I went out there and I just got in front of people. And then I just kept doing it again and again and again and again. And I just kept going to these
SEMA,
events.
or you're just
Every event I can get on a list for. It could be just a mixer, just cocktails with Jaguar or something like that.
the original networking.
Yeah, that's it. Just
showing
old
up.
school networking. Just
Cool.
get in front of people and be just like, but it was never like, help me. It was always like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? That's all I wanted to do was to do stuff for other people. And, it worked. And then through a friend, I met Adam Carolla. He's like, I'm going to start this podcast called CarCast. He's like, can you help me produce it? I was like, yes. No question in my mind, yes. Had no idea what a podcast was. Had no
Really?
idea what producing it meant, but I just said yes.
I'll figure it out.
That's it. I just figured it
Just
out.
like the
And it
website.
turns out
Figure it out.
all these people that I've been bugging for the past year saying I'm going to do something for you, well, we started to need guests for the podcast. And my idea was, I don't need to book a bunch of celebrities for the podcast. I need to take interesting guys and interesting companies in the automotive space and put them on a podcast because nobody's even ever heard of them and they make cool shit. And I like cool shit. Adam likes cool shit.
And the people who listen to the
And
show,
people who liked it, turns out they like cool
right.
shit.
And the people who listen to the show is their audience. Like that's who they're looking
Yeah,
for. Those- their
right? So
customers.
we started doing it, and guys that like own a company that makes suspension parts, nobody even ever heard of the guy. Somebody have had their parts, but they never heard of the guy. Now,
Well, I didn't know that. I learned listening to that show years and years ago that Dave Anthony he makes wheels or something, right? He has a company that makes wheels, right? Dave Anthony? No,
who's Dave Anthony?
I'm sorry. Maybe his name's not Dave Anthony. The guy from Van Halen.
Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony. I'm
yes,
sorry.
Michael Anthony. Yeah, he owns Bond Speed Wheels. So
Right,
fan
and so-
shop.
but I mean I heard that on the show.
Yeah.
And it blew me away. So
Yeah, because he's a car guy. Like Adam has mentioned like a guy named Gale Banks several times. Gale Banks
He
owns
was a race
Banks
car
Engineering. He's like an innovator in turbo technology, and
Okay.
he's a bunch of land speed record stuff. Like guys like Gale Banks never did a lot of interviews and stuff because nobody cared to interview the innovators in the automotive space. In the aftermarket space, they only cared about the part. Do you make a good turbo? Does it work? That's it. So we
not
started.
why do you make a turbo?
Right. So we started getting into interviewing guys like Gale Banks and saying, why do you make turbos? And what's your background? Like you and I are doing right now. Like, what's your background? How did you get into this?
Right.
What was the first turbo thing you made? And the guy, and he's got this fascinating story. He's like, oh, I ended up getting hired by GM and I made all these turbos and I set these land speed records, and like, that's really interesting. Now a lot of the guys in this space, because of things like podcasting and then PR firms started getting in the automotive aftermarket, and a lot of these business owners are famous. Like you go to the SEMA show now, and it's not the race car drivers, not just the race car drivers and TV guys are signing autographs. It's the owners of the companies that are signing autographs. And I feel like podcasting had a lot to do with that.
That makes sense.
So now there's a world which I love, because these are guys that worked hard to build a business. Some of them have been running a business for 20, 30, 40 years and nobody even knew their name. And now they got a line of 75 people waiting for their autograph.
That's
because you're
crazy.
like, because I respect what you've done. Not because you're just a famous guy, just because you built cool shit. And we love that stuff.
That's awesome.
So it's a different world. So I feel like we were probably one of the first in podcasting to recognize those people. And
I'm sure that's true.
and that's it. Like, we've been doing it 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
You know, 8 years this past June, we've been doing CarCast.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
8 years of working with Adam Carolla.
Wow. I remember when he first started adding shows, I guess 8 years ago. You know, he had Daves of Thunder and he had Spider and the Henchman, you know, but then he had a CarCast, and I was like, well, I'm not really into cars, but I want to see what this dude's going to do with it. Like,
Yeah.
like, what is this comedian guy going to bring? You know, because he brings something to everything he does, and so I just kind of wanted to see what he would bring to. And to be honest, I stopped listening, but I listened probably for the first 2 years. I mean, religiously. It was great, and now I'm just listening to so many podcasts.
That's the thing, there's just so many now. You've
There's
got to
so
really
many.
pick the things that interest you the
There's
most.
over 500,000 podcasts on iTunes.
Yeah,
That's insane.
it's pretty crazy.
And
I don't know what was the
probably
first. I
listened
feel
to too
like
many.
Adam kind of started off turning it into a mainstream thing, and he did well with that. I know the podcast's been around for a while.
Yeah, there's a few, you know, I guess you would say big boys in it, but he's definitely one of the kings. There's only like 2 or 3, and he's up
Well,
there.
he's
one
turned
of
it
them.
into a business.
A huge business.
He's turned it into a real business, and
And when he started doing that, nobody was turning anything into a business.
No.
Everybody, like Kevin Pollak has been doing his show for about as long. They just, like, I went and sat in while they recorded episode 314, which is not Adam numbers, but they only do it, you know, a couple times a month or something.
Yeah.
Adam does it every day. But at one point, Kevin Pollak was trying to figure out how to stop losing money. Because, like, when Adam first started doing ACS, you know, he couldn't sell commercial time or anything because he was still under contract with CBS.
yes,
And he had a non-compete. And so I think Adam said when he first started, his bandwidth was costing him $10,000 a month.
it was. Yeah, it was actually very depressing. It was depressing for him because he wasn't sure if this was going to be his career or not. And I remember the day. I don't remember the actual date, but I remember the day where I saw it in his eyes. I had a conversation with him, and it shifted. He's like, "This is going to be my career now." And from that day on, everything was changed. Everything was changed. He just turned down everything else. People were like, "Do you want to do this TV show? Do you want to do this? Do you want to write for this? Do whatever." And he's like, "Fuck it. No, I'm just going to do podcasting. I'm going to turn this into a real thing." But it wasn't when I first started. Like, we all kind of struggled, like, "Adam, will you do this? Will you do the show? Will you do this thing?" And he was still a little hesitant because it was so new. And he had a family to provide for, and,
And
he
no
was,
job.
and he was not
just
going to get
lost his
paid.
job, right.
And now he's blowing through that contract money. You know, CBS paid him to not be on the air
And
for
that
the year.
$10,000 a month was just bandwidth. He had all the other expenses.
He had his warehouse. He had people
He had
there.
people.
Like, we all were working for free. I worked years for free because I just believed in what he was doing, and I liked the guy. You know, and now he's turned it into a multi-million-dollar
It's an
operation.
empire, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and believe me, it's tough to make money in the podcasting world, and we've had a lot of conversations about it. But everybody that works at Carolla Digital, they're all great guys, a bunch of young guys. But I've run businesses in the past, and I don't know that anybody else over there has. So I had a lot to relate to Adam and say, "Hey, you're starting a business, so you know." I understand that you're struggling with insurance and sales commissions and payroll and employees and time cards, and like, I get what you're doing, and I think he got that I understood it, and maybe that's how we sort of became friends as opposed to, you know, just doing a podcast together.
Right. I don't know how we keep circling back to that dude. That's funny. So you're in.
Damn it, Carolla, you're everywhere.
This guy. So you moved here and you're getting into the automotive space, and like, when did you know that? So you said you decided on a whim to just get into the automotive space.
Yeah.
So like, when did you know that was gonna work? Like, that it was gonna be viable?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm still figuring that out. Trust me, I made more money in the internet space than I've ever done in the automotive space. But and I've had fun in both of those careers. the first from 19 to, I don't know, 30 or something, I was in the internet space. And now from the last 10 years, I've been in the automotive space. I guess automotive space, it's a little bit entertainment, it's a little bit podcasting. I've hosted other car shows and things like that, which I enjoy. But I like what I'm doing. I still kind of feel like this isn't where the money is. And I am kind of, recently, this past year, I've really been itching to start a new company.
Oh, really?
And
just out of creativity, or just because?
Yeah, because I kind of miss the sort of being the entrepreneur. I miss the idea of like, on a freelance basis, I've written several business plans and helped people raise money, and I haven't had a chance to do that for myself in a long time. So I miss kind of doing that. So I've been working with my longtime business partner, a guy named Doug. He's a great guy, super smart guy. He's always been the CFO of all of my businesses. And we just sat down. I'm like, I don't want to say bored, because I love what I do, and I'm not going to stop doing the automotive stuff and the podcasting. But there's this need in the business world that I'm not fulfilling, and that part of me is bored. So I sat down with him and I was like, I'm going to come up with something else. So we've been working on an idea. It's sort of snowballing into something that's kind of cool.
Cool.
And maybe it's another podcast one day,
right,
once we get things going. But we've got that going. But for now, I do love what I do. I've been very, very fortunate. I cannot even tell you how much. Running the internet company that I ran with the best guys in the world, all of those employees that work for us are friends of mine today.
Really?
And yeah, they're amazing.
That's awesome.
And Adam Pizzoni is doing so well. His brother David, that we started the company with, he's doing well. And David's got family, he's got kids, and they've all moved around, so I don't get to see them all the time. But I grew up with these guys. These are my best friends in the world. They're doing so well. I'm so happy for them. But I love what I'm doing. I love chatting with Adam about cars, and it really is kind of a low stress environment. It's fun. Talk about taking your hobby and turning it into a career. Yes. Am I going to make millions of dollars a year playing around with cars? No, I'm not. Adam's not going to make millions playing around with cars. He's going to make millions doing his other stuff and spend it on cars, or I'm going to spend it for him, which it turns out I'm not so bad at. Spending other people's money, yeah, I'm not so bad at.
There you go.
So I got to figure out like what's, this, I'll start a new company, but in the meantime, I was on the phone with Adam last night about
space?
What's that?
Is it not going to be in the automotive space?
It's not going to be in the automotive space.
Just
because
a whole different third
yeah,
direction.
because I'm having so much fun what I'm doing now. If I add that level of stress to it and turn it into something where I absolutely have to make money off of.
Right.
Yeah, I make money in what I'm doing. I don't make a ton of money, but I do make money, and I get to live out here in California in Santa Monica and be near the beach and have some fun. And got a couple of cars and I can go to Adam's shop and work on my cars and do that. And Adam and I were talking about our Monterey trip that's coming up, and is he going to buy? Is he going to sell? What are we racing? Where are we going? And some meetings and who we're going to meet with, and right, it's fun. Sonny, his boy, is 11 now. He's gone with us the last 2 years. Adam's been waiting his whole life to be able to take Sonny to this event, and Sonny's the best kid ever. He's so good. And he goes with us now, and he has a great time. So it's going to be so much fun, so we're going to start talking almost every day about Monterey and the trip and what we're going to see and what cars we want to look at. And
that's a really cool.
We play the car world like the stock market.
Really?
Yeah.
Just buying and selling, baby.
Just buying and selling.
I'm going to have to go put money in the meter. Mm-hmm. I'll be right back.
Got to feed the meter, man.
Yeah.
You go outside, the beach is right there, you can smell the ocean. Welcome to Santa Monica, buddy.
Yeah, I think before I take off, I'm definitely going to go put my feet in the water. I've never been.
Do that.
And is that the
Go to
Pacific?
the pier, the pier's right here.
Ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to that.
The Santa Monica Pier is right here. Go up there, walk down the pier. It's always a freak show. It's awesome. You go down the end.
Say a freak show?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's a freak show. But it's super fun. And then get to the pier, look around, look back, look at all the buildings, And then when you go home, you'll realize how many movies you've watched over your life, and you realize all of that shit hasn't been in every movie that you've seen forever.
Awesome.
If you go down to the end of the pier, there's a great Mexican restaurant called Marisol's down there. Get yourself a margarita while you're in there. And then outside the restaurant, kind of on the other side of the pier, there's great old photos of the pier, and there's like a timeline. The photos are in order, and you can see the history.
Oh, really?
From like the 1920s up to whenever, and they're like, we built the pier, and then a hurricane came and it smashed it all down, and we rebuilt it, and you can start to see which buildings were built when you look back. And,
oh, that sounds cool as
yeah,
shit.
it's super fun. Also, you can ride the roller coaster, play video games, and skee ball if you want. Skee ball?
That's skee ball.
It's skee ball, right?
Yeah, that's right. Where it's like
you bowl the
like
ball,
the ball
yeah.
into the 500 or the 50.
Yeah.
That's called skee ball, I think. That's really cool, man. So
you can win a bunch of tickets and get like one of those trolls that fits on the end of your pencil, like something like that. Like
cost me $40
in skee
awesome.
ball, and you win like a troll.
So do you live near here?
I live in Venice.
Oh, I don't know what that means. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
close to here. Cool.
It's 5 minutes away.
That's awesome.
Down in that area.
So when do you think you're gonna get more rolling on this new, whatever this new project is?
Yeah. So the new business, and there's not a whole lot to talk about right now, but the first draft of our business plan was finished last night.
Oh, really?
That's right.
So super, super new.
Super new.
Oh, cool. Are you excited?
Worked out a lot of stuff. I am excited about it once I start getting into it and start writing. When I sit down and start writing, I get more excited about it. And then you sit there and then you start scratching your head. You're like, how come nobody's done this before? What's going on? And then,
so you're
then you
gonna
start
be
doing
in
more
news
research, and
space.
you start doing more research into why hasn't. But yeah, the big thing is we've went ahead and filed all of our trademarks and copyrights
Oh, cool.
and all that stuff. So that stuff is in there. We're just waiting to hear back on that. But it's going to be fun. I'm excited about starting something new.
That's on. We'll have to have you back on to talk about it once it's a thing.
Yeah, there'll be a whole new life story there. This story's been boring as shit. Nobody cares about building an internet company.
You think that? You think that, but see, not everybody lives in California. Not everybody knows. Like all your friends probably started. I mean, out here, everybody started an internet company or some shit.
It seems that way, yeah.
But the
Yeah,
rest of the-
look, believe
rest of
me,
the world ain't
guys
that.
are more successful at doing all this. I'm not
Of
sure
course.
I'm not sure I took the right path. I took the most fun path, not the
That's what
most
it's about,
financially
right?
viable path.
I mean, when you're laying on your deathbed and you're dying breaths, you're not going to be thinking I should have made more money.
I will be thinking I got to drive an F1 car.
Oh, you did?
I did, yes.
When was that?
I was invited to an event, and there's a track. It's a brand new track, like a club, like a country club kind of track
Okay.
in Palm Springs called Thermal.
Called what?
Thermal.
Thermal.
It's like, I don't know, it's Thermal Raceway, Thermal Racetrack, something
Okay.
like Thermal Club, something like that. But there's these handful of these tracks around the country where you buy like a membership, like a golf course membership, and you can like go out there and you can like store a car and race your car and train and do whatever you want.
That sounds
but it's
so
like
fucking cool.
super nice
And super expensive.
and like over at this Thermal place, they built like these $1 million condos, and you can like buy one if you want. And you can keep your cars in the garage, and instead of like a view of the golf course, you get a view of the track.
That's fucking
And
awesome.
it's awesome, right? So somebody invited me out there to like come out here, train a little bit, do like a day of driving like a Lotus, one of the supercharged Lotus street cars.
Are Lotuses cool anymore?
They are. I mean,
Because they used to be cool, and then they kind of weren't. Because
yeah,
of the
there's nothing
Esprit.
like
It was the Lotus Esprit that made them not cool, right?
the Esprit. I kind of like. By the way, not a bad investment car. Super inexpensive, and I think they'll start to move one day. They'll start to go up in value, and you can have fun with them.
Really?
So they
Any
put me in this
particular
car.
year?
I can't say for sure. I mean, I like the later ones because of the look, but probably everything in that market is the earlier, the more valuable, but also the earlier, the shittier.
Right.
You know, like if you want to drive it,
So if you're looking for an investment car, you're looking for like the lowest amount, lowest units produced.
that's it. Anything special. Like if you look at a Lotus Esprit, for example, and you're like, there's the V8, there's the 4, and then there was like an S4S. It was like a higher horsepower version of the 4-cylinder. That's probably the one you want. And then like if
Just
you
'cause
look
they
in a
made so
world of
few of
Lotus
them.
Esprits that are 20 to 30 grand, the S4S is maybe 35 or 40, but it's probably worth it.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I went out there, I drove these Lotuses around the track, and at the end, they're like, okay, we're gonna put you in like a 2010 Lotus V10 naturally aspirated F1 car. It's detuned a little bit.
How did you get invited to this?
I super lucky, man. I just like they're launching
know
this
a
new
guy who
program.
knows a guy.
You know, they launched a program and they, you know, like they invited a handful of media people out,
To get
like
the
a
word
couple people,
out.
and they're like, you know what, we'll put you in a car, and then if you go back and tell the world about it, we'd love that. I was like, deal, let's do it. I always try to go like way above and beyond with that, you know. So I went out there, I drove this Lotus, then they put me in an F1 car, and I just went crazy. Like I felt like I was doing the fastest lap times in the world, like I was the best driver. And I bet from a distance, I looked like I was driving like a Yugo around the track. And they're like, that's the slowest guy. Like, I'm like,
Yugo.
it's so fast. And people are like, that's the slowest lap time ever. Like your sensation of speed in the car.
What is all that noise?
Is so somebody's trying to like break into this is like the nicest hotel out here, and people are smashing down walls or something.
Weird.
So it was fun, and then I liked it so much that I had those guys come in and bring one of their F1 cars to the studio.
Oh, really?
And you know, I got in it and I told Adam, I was like, you got to get in it, you got to see.
So when they do that, do they trailer it? Like, is that how that
yeah,
works?
they trailered it.
Most of the cars that come visit you are on trailers, right?
Actually, a lot of them are. Yeah, a lot of them are.
Because I mean, it's not like you can drive that shit down the street, especially like
Even
we
if you
said, on
can,
these shit
people don't want to
roads.
get their cars messed up.
Right.
You know, like somebody spends $300,000 building a crazy hot rod, like they don't want it messed up.
Yeah.
You know, but
That
that was
makes
super
sense.
fun. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
that's gonna be the thing. I'm gonna like someday. I'm not married or anything, but someday, I'm gonna like my kid, little Timmy or whatever, be like, Daddy drove an F1 car, and then I'm gonna die. That's your last thing. It's not gonna be like, I love you, son. I'll be like, Daddy drove an F1 car. I'm out. And I'm out.
That's really funny. So you've never been married?
No.
Wow. What's that like?
Um,
I've been married
So-
3 times.
3 times?
Yeah. When you get married in high school, that doesn't work. So then you try again later, and then that
Yeah.
doesn't work. And then
Wow.
the second one didn't work because I was working too much.
Not being married in your 20s is good. Not being married in your 30s was actually better. And then toward the end of that, you realize you're getting older and fatter and grayer, and I'm like, all that shit's happening to me, and get hair growing
look
in
like it.
places you don't want hair anymore.
Sure.
And you're like, yeah, now it's getting to the point where you're like, I don't know. You know what it is? I just got lazy. I just don't go out as much anymore. Like
Really?
like all my friends, like all my younger friends are like, dude, come out, come to the bar, come to this birthday party. I'm like, when? They're like, this is LA.
Yeah.
So keep in mind in LA,
Yeah, it's
shit
gonna-
doesn't get
it's gonna
started
start
till
at
11.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, at least, right? And you're like, I'm in bed by then, man.
Are
I'm
you?
like,
You
yeah.
go to sleep early, wake up early?
I mean,
No, I go to sleep early, wake up late.
yeah, kind of like that. Like, you know, like somebody on a Sunday night, they're like, you should come out, come see this, somebody's having a birthday party and you should come out for that. I'm like, I know, but John Oliver's on Sunday night. and although I know I can record that stuff, there's just something about watching Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
That's funny. You should get out more, man. Say yes, do things.
I know. I used to be that. I used to say yes to everything. I
Remember,
still do,
It's about the
but
experiences, man. Go do it.
yeah. What's it like being married 3 times? Do you have kids?
I do. I have 2 kids. They're 24 and 25. And kids are great. Kids are the... As
They're
far
not
as
even kids anymore. They're
Well, yeah. I mean,
adults.
they're- right.
Do
yeah,
they
they're-
have kids?
they're
Are you a
no,
grandpa?
No, I'm not a grandpa.
Are you a grandpa?
I'm not a grandpa. No, because I made it look so hard, neither
Yeah.
one of my kids want to have kids for a really, really
Do you have boys
long
or
time.
girls?
I one of each, yeah.
One of each.
And they're just
So
like,
wife
nah,
number
they're-
1 was in high school.
Mhm.
That's where the kids came from.
Yeah, that's where one of them came from, yeah.
One of them.
Yeah, that's where the boy came from. That's the only reason to get married in high school.
I see. I see what happened there. And then
And then
you're like, this isn't for me. So you got married again immediately, and then
I
had another
wasn't
kid?
like, this isn't for me. Somebody else was
So
like,
I see.
somebody else was like, you're not for me.
Yeah.
So then I tried to do it again because, I mean, by then I had a little kid, and and I feel like a kid needs an adult male and an adult female in the house, to get a good balance. I mean, if the parents aren't there, then I feel like there should be, one of each. But
Yeah.
and then that didn't work out. But my third wife, I've been married to her for next week is 15 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. And she is the most magical, special lady ever. She's just super amazing. And the girl is her girl. We're a blended family. But I've been raising her for the last 15 years. So she's
Okay.
mine. But yeah, their kids are great. I think kids are the only reason.
Do the
like,
kids
to
live
be
near
here.
you?
Yeah, not too far. The daughter, she's away at college, but away is an hour and 11 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's in Vanderbilt or anything.
It can take me an hour to get to the studio.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's
It took me an hour to get
30
here
miles.
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
It took 53 minutes to get from Burbank to here.
yeah.
So but that's cool. And then the son, he was, 4 or 5 hours away in a small town. And then he just recently moved back. And so he'll, 9 minutes from my house or something at his apartment. So yeah, it's cool to have him close by.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
awesome. And having kids so young, I feel like I have, because my parents had kids young too. And so as much as you can say that you and your parents are pretty close in age, that's kind of the case, like
Yeah.
with my dad. And so, I don't know, it was just kind of an interesting growing up with, your dad's only 17 years older than you or whatever. So you're in high school and he's 30, So it's, 32 or whatever it was. But
Yeah.
so then, I kind of had that with my kids too. So I feel like there's a little bit of extra bonding, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're so close.
That's good. I didn't do that. If I ever have kids, they're gonna be like, I'm graduating from high school. I'll be like, I'm dead.
Well, make sure you come check me out at the retirement home so I can go to the graduation.
That's right.
Yeah.
After you
I had
graduate from
friends
high
like that in
school,
high
come
school.
over to my house and wipe my ass.
I had
Or
friends like
feed
that
me
in
or
high
whatever.
school. There was a guy, he was graduating high school, and his dad was 74 years old. And he looked every bit of it going to graduation. Everybody was like, is that your grandpa? He was like, no, fuck off.
No, that's my dad.
But
Yeah, that's gonna be me. But I'm gonna try to hide it. I'm gonna try to hide it. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna moisturize or whatever
you're
you
in
gotta
California,
do.
you're supposed to, right?
Yeah,
You're supposed to do that and then talk about what roads you used to get here.
yeah.
I thought that that sketch on Saturday Night Live, the Californians, I thought that was all bullshit. No, that's what y'all do.
You came from Burbank. You took 101 to
I
405.
have no idea. I
Yeah.
turned when my phone told me to
Yeah.
turn.
With Waze now, you never know.
See, I don't use that just because I don't think that in San Antonio and my little area of San Antonio, I don't think we have Waze. I mean, if we do, I don't think enough people would use it for it to be accurate. So
That's what it needs. It needs a lot of people to be
and
accurate.
I don't think we have
Yeah.
that. I don't think because I've never heard anybody talk about Waze except for on California podcasts. I've
Yeah.
never heard it in my town. I've never heard it with my friends. Nothing.
Out here, it's like everybody uses Waze. You're dumb for not using it,
Right.
and then you drive 2 hours outside of town. They're like, Waze doesn't know anything. It's like
Really?
it doesn't. Yeah, it's
Nice.
like it tries, and
Well, the
I love it,
guess
but
Google Maps or whatever that tells me on the way here it was in 4 miles there's going to be a slowdown of 4 minutes and then
yeah,
in 11 miles there's going to be a 9 minute
I think
slowdown.
Google owns Waze.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Well, that makes
so
sense.
there's a lot of crossover, but then
Sure. Doesn't Google own everything that Microsoft
Google owns
doesn't?
everything. Google probably owns you.
Oh damn it, those sons of bitches. Yeah, they probably do.
I wish they owned me.
Yeah, right.
I feel like there's some sort of job security or maybe some insurance, something in there.
Both of those things. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Dear Google, I am for sale.
right? Dear Google. Yeah.
Yeah. If you listen to Steve's podcast, call me up.
So when I went to Kevin Pollak chat show yesterday. And,
Yeah.
and I got there, and it took me about 45 minutes because, it was 3rd Street Promenade over there. I walked in, and there's 6 or 7 other people there, There's Kevin and the 2 other people that are on the show with him, which is his wife and Sam Levine. And then there's the makeup girl, because it's a video podcast.
Okay.
And so, there's the makeup girl, and then there's the guy who's running the cameras, and then the sound. There's just, I don't know, 8 people there or something. And when I walked in, they were all talking to each other about traffic and how they got here and how long it took and which roads they used. And I was just kind of sitting in the corner like, are they fucking with me? Like,
So
are they
you're on the
messing with me?
west side. If you're over by the beach, you're on the west side. And if
Okay.
you don't live on the west side, you dread
Really?
dread going to the west side.
Really?
Adam lives nowhere near here.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know where he lives, but his
So
shop's
you're in
Glendale,
Burbank,
yeah.
right? Adam is 10, 15 minutes
Isn't the
even
Hollywood
east
Hills
of.
or something?
No, he's in another town,
Oh.
La Cañada, but
Oh, okay. La Canada?
yeah.
Okay.
And he's
The
another.
first time I saw that written out, I was like, I've never heard anybody talk about La Canada.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, out here everything's got to be pronounced something weird. Rodeo. It's rodeo when you get there. It's rodeo.
Yeah, I heard on a live show once, I think Eric Stone Street
Yeah.
was the guest,
He's great.
and Drew was on
Yeah.
on there also, and Drew asked Eric Stone Street if he used to be a rodeo clown. And then Eric would not stop fucking with him. He's like, I'm sorry, did you just say rodeo,
Rodeo
clown?
clown?
Like, what is wrong with you? But yeah, y'all say some weird shit out here. There
Yeah.
was one, I passed a sign for a street that was like, Chaqua.
Cahuenga.
No, it wasn't Coenga. I figured that one out when I saw it, but it was on the way here. It was on a highway sign. It was, the exit, whatever. But it was like Chapaqua or Cha. I was like, what is that? Y'all are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of
I've
that.
got a lot of odd names.
Yeah. But Adam never comes out here.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because it's too far and it's the pain
Right.
in the ass.
But he calls me and he's like, what's the temperature out there? I was like, 78. He's like,
See,
it's
okay,
100 at my house.
So I was expecting 78, 82.
Yeah.
And then I was in an Uber the other day going, I guess I looked at my phone and it said Van Nuys, so I guess I was in Van Nuys. And it said 104 or 105 degrees.
Yeah,
at 4
Van Nuys
o'clock,
is
and
in
I
the
was like,
valley.
What the fuck?
Van Nuys is in the valley. That's shit.
Yeah, it's been
Like,
really
it's hot.
Burbank
Yeah.
is in the valley, right?
Burbank. Yeah.
Glendale, all that stuff.
Yeah. And now you're starting to head east, man. You're
really
like,
been
you're
hot.
out there. Yeah. So,
I just
but out
blew me
here,
away. So out here it really is nice and cool.
yeah, it's nice.
Well, that's cool. Is that why you live here?
Yes. It's
Really?
the only reason why.
Really? The temperature?
Like coming from Arizona, I was like, I'm not going to move to California,
Where it's gonna
pay
be hot as
twice the
balls.
rent of Arizona,
Right.
and have it still be 110 degrees. That's dumb. I came out here, like I left the studio the other day. I was sitting in traffic on the freeway. It was 111, and by the time I got to my house, it was legit 30 degrees cooler.
That's so fucking crazy.
30 degrees cooler.
So I live outside of San Antonio, like I said, in that small little town, and that's the hill country out there where I am. And it's between 5 and 12 degrees cooler where I am usually.
Yeah.
But it still gets so hot. Man, and lately
It was
it's been
30
super
degrees
hot.
cooler for me, and I only went 30 miles, 20 something miles,
That's
and
insane.
not 20 miles directly east. Like I went south 7 miles, 8 miles. So I only went east maybe 20 miles.
That is insane.
You know, east to west basically. I
Right.
headed out to the west. I was in the east, I headed out here.
So whenever you're doing whatever you do all week long, do you just stay mostly in this area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of advantage of doing what I do is I do a podcast with Adam, I do another podcast, and I
Where do you do
host
your other
various
one?
shows.
And what's it called?
It's called Shift and Steer,
Okay.
and that one sometimes I do down in Orange County. But again, doing these podcasts, it's like I'm lucky to be able to schedule them at like 11 o'clock. 11 is perfect. I can hit the road by 10 right after traffic. I get to the studio, I get to Orange County, get anywhere I want in 40 minutes, 45 minutes, bust out a show in an hour, hang out a bit. Like if I'm at the studio, I'll go into the shop, talk to the guys about the car, see what's going on, then hit the road, be home in 45 minutes. Right in that sweet spot of after morning traffic and before afternoon traffic.
Nice.
And then most of my work is done from home.
Very cool. One of the things that I've noticed is that every house that I've been in a few houses
Yeah.
since I've been here. Nobody has their air conditioner on. What the fuck is that
Yeah,
about?
that part I don't get.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, that part I don't understand.
Like, I was at a couple of houses, I guess 2 in Burbank, and then 1, I guess it's in Glendale. Eagle Rock. That's where it was.
oh, Eagle Rock.
And
That's kind of where Adam lives. He's
really?
like a little bit
that is-
past. Like if Eagle Rock was really nice, that'd be where Adam lives.
got you. But I'm just like, it's fucking hot in here. What do y'all? They don't have the windows open. They don't have nothing. Like,
They don't out there didn't in Eagle Rock didn't have air?
correct.
I'm 1.4 miles from the water, like standing in the water. Maybe 1.5 miles from my house to getting your feet wet at the beach. And in my apartment, I put air in there.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't I? I can't. Like, I got out of that Uber and I was just sweaty like crazy, you know, because it was
Yeah.
hot. It was just hot. I mean, the Uber had the air conditioner on, but you know, all the windows, and it was just so hot. And then I got out and I'm all dripping with sweat, and I walk in thinking I'm gonna walk into, you know, a refrigerator. No, it was just as hot in there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Every house I've been in. And even when I was at the West Side Comedy Theater yesterday on the 3rd Street Promenade,
There was no air
If
on?
it was on, it wasn't working because it was hot as shit in there.
Yeah, it probably doesn't have air. You'd be surprised how many apartments out here on the west side, on the beach cities,
But this
no
is
air.
This is a club, a bar. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. You people blow me away.
You people.
The Californians. So you've been here for a couple decades or a decade?
Yeah, December of '95, I moved out.
So you're officially a Californian now.
I think so.
Cool. Do you
not-
go
I'm not
back
like
and
a
visit
valley
your
girl or
family and
anything.
stuff? Yet.
Yeah.
Do you go visit your family or whatever? Are they still back in?
They're in Arizona.
They're in Arizona. Like-
Parents are divorced, but they're all in like Phoenix area.
Okay, I was there a year ago. Yeah.
They're out there. I go out there. You know, mom's like, you got to come out here eventually. So,
Have you been to Geronimo? It's
uh,
outside of Sedona, I guess.
yes,
It's like at the
Yes.
top of this mountain.
yes, I have.
That's crazy. Going up that road.
Yeah, Sedona's cool.
That's nuts.
I mean, I'm from Arizona, so I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
yeah,
hot.
big
It's
deal.
it's stupid.
Those cactuses. We don't have those.
Yeah, right.
But I went to a winery at the very top of that thing.
Yeah.
Owned by the dude from Tool, the singer. Maynard,
Yeah.
Maynard James Keenan or whatever.
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't gone.
You don't have to go.
No,
It's not worth it. I mean,
like I don't do like tourist shit
right.
in
Like
Arizona.
his wine's all right, but it's not worth it to go. It's really small. He's not there. It's just a couple of people who sort of know a little bit about
Yeah.
his product line, but not really, and that's kind of it.
You know, like the tourist stuff is weird to me. Maybe just to me. Like I lived in Arizona for a long time. Never been to the Grand Canyon.
Really?
I've been out here in Arizona or in California since '95, and I went to the La Brea tar pits for the first time like 2 months ago
Really?
because a friend of mine, she was in town. She's like,
Let's go see it.
I got a day
think-
to blow. Let's
think
go. I
that's
was like,
when-
let's go to the tar pits.
When people go see the stuff in their town, I think
Yeah.
it's because somebody else wants to. From
That's
out of
it.
Town.
Yeah, but nobody else has ever asked me. You know,
Right.
I was like, we can go do California stuff, and then I don't know. It's just like I was like, there's the tar pits. I've never been there.
So the California stuff that I'm doing while I've been here or I'm here, I mean, I ate at Tommy's, a burger place, only because I saw it in a movie.
Yeah,
Have you seen Chips, the movie with Dax
I didn't
Shepard?
see it yet,
Oh my
no.
god, it is so good.
is
It's-
it?
Yeah, like
I don't know that it did well.
I don't think it did well. I mean, I'm positive it didn't do
Dax Shepard is a supercar guy.
well. Yeah, he is a super
Yeah, so his mom, like, there's these press events where like they'd have a bunch of press people come out or people that bought like Corvettes. They'd have like a little day where they can go out to like the parking lot at Dodger Stadium. There'd be like cones set up, and there's like 10 Corvettes. You can drive them around,
cool.
like an event. His mom was like the event planner for GM at those events.
Holy
So when he was a
shit.
kid, at like the end of the day, he would just get to drive Corvettes around the cones.
Oh my
So when he was like, I
God.
don't even know if he had a license, you know, and so he kind of grew up like doing that, like with his mom, I think. So he's like a super kind of car guy.
Yeah, I heard him on CarCast or years ago, I guess.
Yeah, he was.
Talking about-
Dude, it's probably been
It's been a long time.
7 or 8 years. He was
been a
one of
while.
the first guests.
That's awesome.
I talked to him a couple times at like some events, but
I was going to
we haven't done
interview
too
him while
much
I
with
was
him.
here, but he was out of town. Well, he said he was out of town.
Yeah.
It might have just been
He
telling me
works
to
a
fuck
lot,
off,
you know,
but he seems like a nice guy. But I know that him and D'Onofrio are making another movie. D'Onofrio's in Chips.
oh, he is.
Yeah, Vincent.
That dude is so good.
He's great, right?
Everything he's done has been awesome.
You should really see Chips though. Like it's a buddy comedy. Like it is hilarious. I saw it 3 times in the theater.
Yeah, but I feel like you can. Out here, it'll cost you $22 to go see it in the theater. Like, there's something about movies out here that just cost.
That's
Like,
crazy.
there's a dinner theater kind of thing. Like, you go in, you get the big lounge chair, you kick your feet up in the middle of the movie. Like, a waiter comes over and brings you like beer and food.
Is that ArcLight or?
And
Cinema
it's not
Dome
the
or something?
ArcLight. It's something else out here.
We had the.
It's
Alamo
probably
Draft
40,
House is
50
what we
bucks a
got.
person. Like, if you're going to go on a date and see a movie, like, you're probably, the ticket's like 20 bucks, and you're probably 25, 30 bucks into a meal and a beer per person. So there are nice restaurants out here. You won't spend 100 bucks on 2 people, but you go see a movie.
That's nuts. Yeah, everything is a lot more.
I haven't gone
expensive.
to a theater in forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your home theater is probably pretty dope, right?
Yeah, and you know, with everything online and streaming and
Everything's
everything else,
online
I was
and
like,
make
you
it
really
so
don't have to
easy.
wait that long.
I'm sure Chips is online now because they're selling. It's
Yeah, it's going to come out like any minute. I feel like
Oh,
it's going to be out
it's
any
out
minute.
already.
Yeah.
because I bought the DVD before I left. It was so good. I loved it. I watched it and then I took my wife to see it and then I took my son to see it. It's so funny.
I did see Fast 8 in the theater. I was in Arizona with my little brother, and he's
Yeah.
like, let's go see Fast 8. Because he just wanted to hang out and go see a movie, and then he was being really sweet. He's like, let's go see something I think you'll like. And he's like, let's go see
How
Fast
old
8.
is he?
It's funny because I see him as like a little brother.
Yeah, you make him sound like he's 9 years old.
Yeah, but he's probably like 33 or
okay.
something.
Yeah, he's being super sweet. I'm like, what is he, 9? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
Yeah, but he's like 30 or something, or
That's
30
funny.
something.
So
Yeah.
did you enjoy it? Was it good? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was like, it's exactly what I expected. And then this is so insane. Is Adam and I went to an event like a couple of weeks ago, and we're standing around. We're having this epic conversation with Sylvester Stallone. Like
So you
2.5
were with him.
hours.
You were with him.
I was with him.
Ah,
yeah.
hey.
We had like a 2.5 hour
Not stop talking
conversation
about it.
with Sylvester Stallone.
That's awesome.
And it was
that
amazing.
at a car thing or no?
No.
It was just at a thing.
Yeah, and and then Vin
Is he
Diesel
a car
shows
guy?
up.
Is Sly a car guy?
Not really. So I talked to his wife, Jennifer Flavin. She's like, you know, he used to have really cool cars, and then as the kids got older, he's got 3 girls. They're all like teenagers. They're all like 16 to 22 or something like that.
Okay.
As they got older, he got rid of some of his cars because all the girls have cars, and all of a sudden it's like he's got a car, Jennifer's got a car, the 3 girls got a car. It's
There's
like where
just
are
cars
you gonna put
everywhere.
all these goddamn cars?
Right.
You know, because they're all just young, really super hot girls. So he got rid of a lot of his stuff, you know, to make room for the girls. Because he seems to be like a great dad, and she's a wonderful mother, and she's so nice.
I just
Then we
would
met Vin
imagine-
Diesel.
Yeah, how was he?
He was awesome.
Is he a car guy? You're like, not
we,
really.
we didn't get too much into that conversation.
so
like,
no. I mean, if
and
he was a car guy, he would have been vomiting car stuff all over the place.
I think he's a car guy, but we went in, we said hi, and he was like really nice, and like he didn't know us, gave us a big hug, and then
He did, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
and then he was talking to Stallone, as you should. Like if you show up and Stallone's at, like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, he's got to hold court, right?
it was a friend of mine's birthday party, and it was kind of a low key affair with a handful of people, and she's super sweet, and I've been to her place a bunch of times, and Adam hasn't. He's like, why don't you come with me? I was like, okay, I've been there, let's go. And then Sylvester
awesome.
Stallone, we were there early, Stallone's there early, and he was amazing.
That's really cool.
That dude has worked hard in his life. That
Guy's
dude
worked
has
for a long
written,
time.
directed, acted, produced, and like all of his big hits. He's even in the movies where he doesn't have a director credit. Trust me, he's directed half that movie.
Right.
You know, the last movie, like Creed, for example,
Oh, man, that
great
was good.
movie.
That was
Wasn't that
good.
great?
I
It was
loved
excellent,
it.
right?
I really, really
Okay,
loved it.
well,
I could not wait for that movie to come out.
he is not the director. The director did a great job, but he
Who was the
choreographed.
director? It was the guy that did Fruitvale Station. right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Young guy, and this was a big career move for him. And he's doing the Marvel movie Black Panther
is
or
he?
something.
Is he
Yeah.
doing that?
He's getting paid a bunch of money for that, I'm sure.
Oh,
But,
that makes sense because Michael B. Jordan's in that too.
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan, I guess, is in all.
That's his
movies.
boy, right?
Yeah.
That's his like
He was Fruitvale. Did you see that?
yeah.
Oh shit, that was good.
Yeah, it was good. But even like Creed, Stallone choreographed and basically directed all the fight scenes.
I could not believe that Creed was as good as it was. Like, because I was expecting, what was the last one, Balboa or some shit like that?
Yeah.
And that really wasn't that great. But man, Creed, woo, that was good.
That was a good movie.
That was really good. Oh, I was pretty pissed off when he didn't win. You know, when he didn't get the trophy or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't win. I think he got a Golden Globe, but he didn't get an Oscar. But, you know, keep in mind that Hollywood is so much politics. And
Yeah, we were talking about earlier a guy who kind of hasn't really moved away from radio. Remember? We talked about that one guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of hasn't broken free. And it might be because he just pisses everybody off. He talks shit about everybody on the radio.
Yeah.
Talks shit about everybody at his other thing. And, you know, you burn bridges all over the place.
Hollywood is so sensitive about this stuff. They're sensitive about loyalty, like what you say about other people, and they're sensitive about politics. And it's weird because, like, politics to me isn't like just left and right. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of middle ground.
Right.
But if you're on the right,
I don't know what that is. That
conservative, Republican.
okay.
If you're Republican
I'm
in
so
Hollywood,
unpolitical. I don't know what right and left is. And
yeah, but if you're a Republican in Hollywood, even if you're very much the middle ground, but just lean a little toward the right, it seems like Hollywood doesn't like you at all.
really,
And
was
Stallone's
on
the
a-
kind of guy that's like, you know, it says leaned a little bit toward the right. And for that reason, I would say for that reason, I don't know who
think
else
that's a big
would
part of
say, he's just been kind of shunned by things. You know, his movies are good, his movies are successful, whether you're a fan of Stallone or not, he's a talented dude, writer, director, you know, he's a talented dude. And he's got a crazy net worth of like $400 million, right? And he didn't do that by having a shoe company or an alcohol business. He did that in Hollywood.
yeah.
And he did that despite Hollywood not embracing him, you know? And he's done it on his own, and he's had to write and produce and direct his own movies because nobody would really do it for him.
right, like Seth Rogen. Like the
Right.
only reason he writes, the only reason he writes is because he wanted to be in movies and nobody would hire him, so he just writes his own movies.
Yeah, so that's what Stallone did, and he's super successful and sort of paved his way, but he's still at 70, 71 years old. You know, no one's going to give him an Academy Award, whether he deserves it or not. And I don't mean for acting. I mean maybe for directing, maybe for producing, maybe for whatever. They're just not going to do it because Hollywood just doesn't want to embrace that kind of thing, which is kind of shitty because the guy's worked hard and he's done well, and I think he's proven himself time and time and time again.
Right.
You know, like he's the franchise king, man. That guy's that all the Rocky movies and Rambo movies and Expendable movies, like he knows how to build a franchise,
Yeah, he does.
you know,
And
that are super successful.
Nobody thought that
I like the guy. I have a lot of respect for the guy, and
what was the most recent Expendables? Nobody thought that
Expendables.
was going to work. When it first came out, everybody was like, "This guy, like, what is he thinking?" But then, boom, it made $1 gazillion,
Yeah.
and then sort of the next.
so like
one, so the
Expendables
next one.
1 came out around the same time as like A-Team with Bradley Cooper and
Right.
Liam Neeson. Cool guys, like those guys. They seem like a fun movie, but you have to do the math on it and then double check my numbers. But I'm pretty sure that Expendables was mocked, and it was made for a lot less money and made a lot more money than the A-Team did,
You're
right?
right on all
so
those
like
counts,
A-Team, huge failure. Expendables, which was kind of a joke in the media, super successful because people love the idea. And it was funny, and it was fun, and it was entertaining.
And you got to see all those dudes again.
Yeah, it was just like, it was cool. And like, you know, it was fun. It's exactly what you wanted, like a big shoot 'em up summer blockbuster. It was fun.
That's what Chips is. You're going to love Chips.
I'm going to love Chips. I
promise.
can't wait.
It's
I can't
really
wait to
cool.
see it. It's going to be good.
And of course, Dax's wife is in it.
Yeah, super hot.
Well, she is super hot. And she's they don't shy away from that in this movie.
Good.
So that's a good thing.
Did he direct it? Or
He
no?
wrote it, produced it, directed it. And
He
starred
did.
in it. Yeah. Like he
I
bought
wasn't sure if he directed. I know he wrote it.
he bought the movie rights and he did everything. Like he did
Yeah,
all
good
of
for
it.
Dax.
Yeah, good for Dax. I hope they make another one. It'd be great if
Did
they
it
made a
make
bunch
money?
of
I don't
them.
know if it was super successful.
Well, I don't know that it costs a whole lot because there's a lot of product placement in it. Like a lot.
a lot of product placement. Gotta get it paid
Like
somehow.
Tommy's. I mean, he's eating at Tommy's, you know, and just dribbling chili all over his uniform and shit. And then, like at one point, he actually says to his partner, he's like, "I don't know, dude. I'm starving. We got to hit that Arby's that's at the end of the hill or whatever." I mean, like there's product placement everywhere
That's
in
funny.
this movie. So I don't know that he got over his skis as far as how much it cost, but
Let's find out.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
look it up.
look it up.
We've got the wonderful world of iPhones.
Did you build IMDb also?
It did not make money, sir.
Yeah, it did not.
It cost $25 million to make, which seems cheap by Hollywood standards. And
18.
so far, it did 18 in the U.S. and 25 worldwide. So keep in mind that production budget doesn't include marketing.
Which is like another $20 million.
Yeah, so another like 20 million movies. So they did not make money
Well,
on
hopefully
this.
they'll sell a shitload of DVDs.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the theater very long either. I actually heard him do some press about the movie, like he was on the Nerdist,
Yeah.
and they're like, "So let's talk about your movie," and he's like, "Nah, let's not talk about the movie. Let's just talk about whatever." So like, he was doing press for the movie where he didn't talk about the movie at all. He actually said like, "Yeah, go see it. Don't go see it. Whatever." Like when it was coming out.
Yeah.
But no,
I'll see it. I'll watch it. It'll be good.
It will be good. You'll enjoy it a lot, I think. Well, I don't want to keep you all day. I know you probably got other shit.
That's
to
good,
do.
man. It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for doing this again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And,
Thanks for having me.
So, where can people find you?
You know, we've got, check us out online. We have the 2 podcasts if you like automotive stuff or if you just want to hear us rant.
And they're called?
It's CarCast and Shift and Steer. We're at carcastshow.com and shiftandsteer.com. And you can just follow me on my social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere at Motorator, just like it sounds. It's MOTORATOR, Motorator. Follow me. Shoot me a message. I'll reply.
Yes, you will.
As
That's
I do.
how this happened.
That's how I do.
He does.
Dude,
All right.
this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, and good luck with your podcast. This is going to be exciting. I know you're going to head over to Corolla Digital and chat with the crew over there.
That's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited.
It'll be
I'm
fun.
excited just to see the cars. Because Gary's going to let me, he's going to take me on a tour.
Gary doesn't know shit about any of
Oh,
those
I don't.
cars.
I'm not gonna. I
Yeah.
won't ask any questions. I just want to see them.
All he can do is open the door
That's all I
and
need.
say, have at it, buddy.
All I need is somebody
Yeah.
to let me in. I mean, I'm not looking for a tour guide. I just want to see these beautiful machines.
If he's going to show you, then have at it. It's going to be great. You're
I
going
was
to have
like,
a good
can
time.
I take pictures? He's like, some you can and some you can't. And I'm like, whatever. That's fine. Whatever.
So-
whatever the rules are, that's fine.
In the car collection, there isn't anything in that room right now that you can't take a picture of. So have at it.
In which room?
In the big room with the cars.
The other.
Yeah, you'll figure it out when you get there. There's like a big room with cars.
All right, cool. So everything I can take a picture. I mean, I'm not going to put it online. I just want.
It's fine. Yeah, post it, dude. Post it. It's all good.
And you said there's cars at the studio too.
There's 2 or 3 cars in there now. Those you can take pictures of as well. There aren't any cars that you're going to see that you can't take pictures of right
Because
now.
everything
So,
else is somewhere
so you're
else.
good.
All the secret stuff is elsewhere?
The secret stuff is elsewhere.
Good. All right, cool.
All the secret stuff. But thanks, man. I appreciate it.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you. Hey guys, if you like what I'm doing, rate and review the podcast on iTunes and wherever else you're getting the podcast. And if you do order things from Amazon, it would really help me out if you use that Amazon banner that's on the website at fascinationstreetpod.com and just click through whenever you're buying stuff from Amazon. You can click through the first time and then save that to your favorites or bookmark it, and every time you use it, you don't have to go to the website to get there. I appreciate it, guys. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.